Hey, welcome to Talk Tuesday, our first Talk Tuesday of Financial Literacy Month. All right, so yes, April is Financial Literacy Month, but let's talk about what it actually means. Hi. For starters, I know I don't usually start like this, but please let me know if you can see me and can hear me. Right before I was going live, it's telling me that there's something going on with the connection. It's possible that I will not stream to YouTube, which is my main stream. So please let me know if you see me. Hi, hello, hey. All right, I see the comments. So I'm hoping that means that you can hear me and see me. I see you. Can you hear me? Oh, let me know. Let me know. Can anyone hear me? Yes. Okay. All right. Hey, Dawn, you made it. Hi. All right, you see me? All right, so let's see. And hear you. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. I was nervous because when I was getting ready to go live, I can see up top there was a message that says that there's some sort of issue going on with the API, which is preventing the lives from sharing to YouTube, which is my main audience. So I was confused and I'm like, I don't know if I should go live, if you guys will actually hear me and see me, but that is wonderful. So I won't prolong. I'll get right to it. So, welcome to Talk Tuesday. Thank you for being here. So, today's topic is what you should know, or you should know this by now. But before I get into that, I wanted to really get into financial literacy. Financial literacy is because you uh, it's financial literacy month. It's very important month. It's April. There's a lot of different things every month, but it's important that we learn about our finances. And a lot of people think Financial Literacy Month is basically about, learning, financial terms and things like that. And then we want to learn about, investing, but understanding your finances, understanding what's going on with your actual money is what's going to give you your financial literacy of understanding what's going on with your everyday life. So it's very important because sometimes I find people who want to learn about investing, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to learn about investing, but it's important to start where you are, work on building your savings. It's important to have your savings intact before you go into the investing to make sure that you have money aside and set for an emergency if something were to happen. Because once you go into investing, you have to understand that investing is similar to gambling. You're going to put money in. Sometimes you are going to gain from it, but there are times where you could lose. So just be mindful of first step is actually beginning to save, put some money aside, and be prepared if everything didn't go as we planned. Yes, we want it to go wonderfully, but be mindful that it's not always perfect. I wanted to, start with that because it's important that, you learn that portion of it because that's usually what keeps us confused. Because like I'm doing everything, I'm learning, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but if things aren't working out because we're learning more, we're learning, more detail, we're learning this, we're learning higher, we're learning even more of things when we don't fully understand what's going on with our own finances. So let me get into today's topic, which was our actual topic. I just want to talk a little bit about financial literacy as it's Financial Literacy Month. So, what you should know by now. So, I wanted to go over, I picked out 5 things to go over that we should know. Of course, we need to know what's coming in, what's going out, what you owe, what you saved, but just go into just a little, deeper because understanding our money will help us to avoid being stressed. So, I have on here number one, which is a big, big, big one, is understanding our true monthly income. A lot of times we know I make this much an hour, and times that how about how many hours I'm working for my pay with this. For me, it's like 80 hours, not like it's 80 hours times what I make, but that's not what I'm truly bringing home. We need to be mindful of the taxes that are coming out, the deductions, your benefits. So my deductions, I have something called SICA coming out. I have um, what else do I have? I have Sika. We'll have to just get into what I have going on. But there's different things. So, take the time to look at your paycheck. Look at what's coming out, what's actually coming to you. And if you have money going into this account, going into that account, be mindful of what's going into both accounts or all accounts. And don't be careful of spreading your money too thin. Sometimes we put money here, 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 because in our mind we are saving and this is for this, but just be mindful that what's going where. And if you start to have something coming out automatically over here, make sure that you have enough money going in over here. Because yes, you might make fully enough to cover all the expenses, but having money going into different accounts can sometimes be confusing and sometimes cause you to not be prepared for something coming out. You might think it's coming out of this account, but when it's coming out of this account. And so just understand. All right. So you can plan on what you're actually receiving. That's a big one. That's number one. Understanding our income. Sometimes we're just thinking of the big number. I know how much I make and, I'm going to do this, this, but be mindful of what you're actually receiving. And then also when things are, well, that's not, let me go stay on topic. All right. Number two, what you're actually spending in a month. So where is your money actually going? So take that time. See, so we talked about, I think in February, be mindful of what's coming out of your bank account. Check for fees. Check for increases in your bills. I think Netflix just went up. I can't remember the amount, but that just went up. Everything's going up. So yes, you might know how much you're paying for things, but things are changing and increasing more frequent now. So it's important for you to just take a look. If you're, maybe you don't log into that account to check, well, then log into, for example, your Netflix. If you don't know your password, then maybe you can look into your bank account and see what's actually coming out. But you have to be careful because if you're not paying attention to how much is happening, how much is increasing to, and then sometimes we make the mistake of having multiple accounts. I ran into someone who had 2 different Netflix set up. She didn't realize she had 2 set up, but they were under 2 different emails so that she was being charged twice. So be careful with that also. So just looking at all of your expenses, looking at your mortgage. I know at the end of the year, they'll reassess my mortgage depending on how my taxes or my mortgage insurance changes. And then that will adjust my actual escrow, which in turns adjusts my entire mortgage because it all comes into one bill. So knowing that, you have to be prepared for things. Like there are different things that you might be paying. So you need to be looking at things, everything. Any bill can change. Any bill can change. Your car insurance, if you're paying it monthly, it's usually on a 6-month period, your car insurance. They change that. Don't be afraid to check into it. Look at it. Look at your numbers. See, do I still need this much coverage? Do I need more coverage? Maybe your insurance is showing that you paid for 12,000 miles a year and you're only driving 5,000 miles a year. Let them know. See if you can get it adjusted. So it's important to just look at everything. Right now, what we can do is pay attention to what our finances. And this is a perfect month to be looking into everything. Take time. Week 1, look at this. Week 2, look at this. Week 3, look at this. Don't try to do it all at one time and you get frustrated. There's so much going on. You can, and sometimes it's overwhelming. So be careful. Be careful. But, set time to look at everything you have going on. Spending without being aware of what's going on cause confusion, and we don't want that. All right. So number 3. So knowing how much your total debt is. Let me see, comment. My radio subscription seems to be changing every other month. It's a good thing I do check. Yes. See, and that is very good because these things change. Don't give you anything new, usually, but your expense goes up higher. Every time you turn around, it's higher. Then it's like, it's just $1. That $1 I could use on something else. And then they add taxes on it. So it's just different things. So that's good that you check it. And you have to check everything. If you have like a little planner, I got things on top of it, so I can't show you. But there you have your planner, I write down every month when I'm paying bills, I write down the exact amount that I pay. So every month I can look back. If I want to look back 2 months ago, how much did I pay 2 months ago? And you have to be mindful too with your credit card bills also, if you are using them, those bills will change. If you're paying 25 a month and you're using it, it's going to go to 35 or 45 or 65. Depends on how much you're using it. Nothing new. That's right. Nothing new. They don't usually give you anything new except for a new price. All right. Number three, I have on here. Oh no, I'm still on number three, your debt. So just knowing your debt, knowing how much your total debt is. So not just knowing how much I have on one card. So I owe Capital One. Let's say I owe Capital One money. I don't want to say, oh, I owe Capital One $500. No, I want to know my total debt. My total debt. My favorite number I always use $2,000. So you need to know the 2,000, not just the 500 on Capital One, or not just on a loan you might have. Know all of it. So then that's how you can create your plan for paying it off, by knowing where you're starting. That's how you can see your progress and feel like, okay, all right, I'm making progress. I've paid this card all the way off, or I only owe 500, or I only owe 100. And sometimes we're avoiding that total, and it keeps us stuck because I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Nope, you have to see it. Nope, just raise the price for the same service. Yeah, that's because they know you love the service and you probably won't go anywhere. Yeah, but yeah, so just get your total picture. Okay, your total picture, and see, what you have going on. Look at your interest rates. That's a big thing that I like to do with my groups. Pull your credit card bills out. Look at how much you're paying in interest. Not only a month, look how much you paid for the whole year. If this is the beginning of the year, like now it's April, so go back to a December statement and look how much you paid for the whole year last year. How much did you give away in interest by just letting that money sit on that account? Because sometimes we get in our own head and we'll say, I'm going to just spend my cash. A lot of people tell me, I'm going to spend my cash and save my no, spend my credit card and save my cash. That's your money too on the credit card. But we're thinking about just what's in our hands. So go back and look at how much you spent in interest, how much you paid in interest, should I say, not spent, because you're still spending until it's paid off. All right, I have on here number 4, your minimum monthly expenses, which I feel like talked about that. What did I say earlier? Oh, for number 2, I said your typical spending, but your monthly obligation. So your monthly obligation, so your mortgage, your rent, your car insurance, your car payment, your what else? Groceries, gas. Gas is increasing daily. And like I said last week, if you weren't here, go find places where you can save on that. I found out I can go to a BJ's. There's BJ's, there's Sam's, there's places like that. Even Giant has a gas station. Don't have one near me that has a gas station, but I go there for grocery shopping, and you can see how much you can save per gallon. Find things like that that you can, use to save in different areas. But that's not the point. This point was to basically know how much you're spending on everything. And just like I spoke about my planner, if you have a planner, you're writing stuff down every month, tracking how much you're spending on that. If you're at the grocery store, hold on to your receipt. Keep all your receipts maybe in an envelope, or put it in your planner if you have a planner. And then you can total up at the end of the month, how much did I spend on groceries? How much did I spend on something you might eating out? How much did I spend on that? How much did I spend on my nails? How much did I spend on my hair? Like different things. And don't forget, when you're buying things out, be mindful of tips. Include that in how much you're spending, because you are actually giving that money out. Sometimes we're just like, oh, it just cost me $80 for my nails. Don't forget how much you're putting for your tip. And then check out, at my nail salon, they have cards where after a certain amount of times you go, you get some points off, or a couple dollars off. See if your nail salon offers that, or see if your hair salon offers that. It's just, you have to ask. I know at my eyebrow place, after a certain amount of times, you get to save. If it depends on how much you spend, you might get something free. But yeah, look into that, and don't be too proud to ask. What kind of offers do you all have? As someone that I'm planning to come to you more frequently, or come to you for a long period of time, and I just want to know, ways that this can work for both of us. It's okay. It's okay to talk. So definitely know what you're spending. That's like your bottom line. So when you're actually trying to create a budget, which I hope that you do create a budget, because that's That's my thing. That's my jam, right? Having that budget. So actually knowing your income, what's actually coming into you versus your expenses, knowing what you're spending can give you a great starting point. Your say yay senior discount. Listen, a discount is a discount. So some stores we go to, I find out that there's a discount on like crazy days of the week, like Tuesdays. Yep, yes, senior discounts are great. Yes, if you're eligible for them, use them. Ask for them. You know, some stores won't tell you about them. You can search online. A store we go to called Ross, theirs is on Tuesdays. One of the grocery stores even has it. I have to remember which grocery store that is, but definitely use those discounts. Check your apps. I have an app for Giant. I don't know if I can pull it up fast enough. I don't want to hold you guys just hanging on. Waiting for it to load. Now it has to verify my device. It never does that. But they have so many coupons on here, and then earn points. I don't know if you can see it all, but they have so many coupons, and I'll go through and I'll hit. Where's it at? The coupons right here. They have all these coupons. I'll hit view all up here, and I will literally view all the coupons and mark off and clip every single coupon. I don't know what I'm buying today, but I want to be sure that I'm buying it. And another way that, helps us to save also, I'll go shopping with my mom and we'll buy everything together. So when we go to BJ's, sometimes I'll get off like coupons that might be like $40 off or $20 off. You spend $100. We buy together. We're using the same membership. We'll ring it all up. Yes, we can use the two separate cards, and it's something that you probably can use too. We'll use two separate cards, and then she has her stuff in her card. I have my stuff in my card, and we'll ring up one card, let the cashier hit total so we can see the amount. So now we know whoever is first, how much their bill is. Then the second person keeps on rolling. Same thing. Hit the total, now we see. So then we just use the two cards to pay, but now we got more points because we've spent more. So, excuse me, there's different ways to save. Where else did we do that at? We save at BJ's because BJ's also has coupons too. And I noticed too when we go to BJ's, and if you don't have BJ's, then you still can try it at Sam's, Costco's, wherever you might go for bulk purchases. But they in their app you can scan, just like everybody wants you to be, work a little harder to get the discount, it seems. So and really get their app. That's the whole thing, get their app. But we scan every item that we put in the cart. We'll scan it, and it'll tell you you're clipping the coupon right there. It could be for my diapers. It could be for soda. It could be for juice. It could be lotion, whatever it might be. But you're able to see it's for grocery items. Save $2, buy one get one 50% off, or mix and match, or you're able to save, and then it's just building our savings. And we're saving so much money. So shop with someone, you could be your mother too. It could be your friend, whoever, but find ways to save. Look at different stores and, they have rewards points. Be mindful of rewards points. Benefit from those rewards points. If you're using your cards, if there's cash back for groceries, use that card for your groceries. Pay it back. Don't let it just sit on your account, because then you're going to pay more in interest than you do for the rewards you're receiving, which is not a benefit. That's a loss for you. I just went on a whole rant about saving. But it's so important. A lot of people are just like, I don't want to go. I don't want to clip coupons. I don't want to be at the register handing my coupons over. Oh, yes, I do. Hold 1 second. Wait a minute. And I'm looking forward. Your savings is your savings, and all of that you save. Have you ever track that, or you can do something to help yourself be motivated to keep going with that? Is every time you're money you save, add that to maybe your go out fund or your splurge fund or your whatever, something you enjoy doing that you always put on a back burner to do because everything else is more important. Everything you save, because you would have technically spent it, put it aside so you can do that fun thing you might want to do. Number 5 I have on here is knowing your current savings amount. Know how much that you actually have in your savings account. Sometimes we know what we want to have, but we don't know what we actually have. So it's important for us to just go take a peek, log in, see what we have. And because there's things like, let's say something happened with your checking account, or maybe your money wasn't in the right account and something got pulled from your savings account to cover that. So you never know what's really in there if you don't peek. Whereas you might also have some extra, interest depending on how much you have in there that could have, built up, or just different things. So actually look, and looking at your savings is going to help you because it's going to let you see where you are so you can work towards that savings goal that you should have. There's no way you can reach your savings goal if you don't set it. That's not going to motivate you to keep going and keep adding to it if you don't say, hey, I want to save, $2,000, or as you should. Yes, yes, you really should. But, start your savings if you don't have it, because sometimes when we wait, everything's more important. Start your savings. Don't forget about your savings. Don't put your savings off to do other things. Even if you're putting a little bit into your savings, put something into your savings, as it's important for you to have that savings. Things happen, and things we don't expect to happen. And I don't want to keep using my house fire as an example, but that's something I never could have imagined. And you can't be prepared for a house fire, but save for things that could happen. It could be something with your car, it could be a flat tire, or it could be um it could be anything. Things happen, you know. Put some money aside. You decide what your emergency fund, or is amount you would like it to be. Build up, put that money aside, just let it sit there. And then you can have other savings for, different holidays, different vacations, different gifts and things like that. And if you don't want to have like a million savings accounts where I'm saving for this, I feel like I'm not making any progress because I have thousands savings accounts I'm working on. Set them in the order of importance. Then you're able to say, all right, so first I want to work on my emergency fund. Then I want to work on my holiday fund. Then I want to work on my vacation fund. Like, set it and how it's important for you. And when you're thinking of your savings for the whole year, be mindful of things that happen all the time. Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, graduations. Um, what else is all the time? Just think about, of course, the holidays at the end of the year. If you're traveling, for the gifts you're buying, for if you're someone who makes a certain dish to bring everywhere, that's your thing. Then be mindful of how much it costs for you to make that. So just think about everything. When we're thinking about our savings, think about everything. All right. So those were my tips for today. We actually ran a little bit long, but that's probably because I went into my rant about coupons and trying to find ways to save, because so many people I encounter are like shy and they don't want to. Nope. If you can save, go ahead and save, and just think of it as I'm saving that money to do something else. If it bothers you, you know what I mean? Find ways to, see what's going on. See what you're doing to make yourself feel more comfortable with it, and then after you get to the point where you don't care what other people think, because you're doing what's best for you. And then it gets easier, and then you're doing what you have to do and building your savings for whatever that thing is that you want to do or enjoy to do or love to do, or maybe you don't get to do as often from your savings. All right, so let's end with a reflection question. So, of course, this is not something you put in the comments, just something you think about or something you write down, however you want to do it. But, what do you actually know about your money right now? What's something that you can say, just thinking about what we talked about today? I actually know how much I have in my savings account right now, or I actually know how much I'm bringing home. Or I actually know, like, just think about it. Something, it could be different for everyone listening, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay. It could be different, but just actually think about that. What is something I know about my finances? Because we do know things that we don't give ourselves credit for enough. Well, I don't know anything. I need to do someone. You do. You do. You just need to think about it. Take a moment to think about it. Another thing you can ask yourself too is, what am I guessing instead of knowing? That could be your total debt. A lot of times when I have people actually calculate their total debt, they're like, wow, I didn't know it was that much. Because then sometimes we're afraid to look at it. Sometimes we know how much it used to be, but we're out here still sliding. But yours might not be debt. Yours might be savings. Yours might be different. It could be different things. Yours can be like, what I didn't know is how much I'm actually giving other people. I'm thinking it's just a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there. But when I look at the total amount I've been, giving out, wow, you know. So just think about it. What is something you're guessing instead of knowing? So I hope this live was helpful for you. We will be back next week, same place, same time, right here on YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern for Talk Tuesday. I am Coach D, your financial coach, and I always want to help you to reach and exceed your financial goals while still enjoying life in the process. We get so focused on, our financial goals that we should stop living. I can't do this, so I gotta save my every dollar. Nope. It's important to work towards your financial goals while still enjoying life. All right. If you need some assistance seeing where you are, where you're trying to go to, and just look at your things, I have a free download. It's in the caption of this video, wherever you're watching it. And that is a 3-page PDF, which just shows you. I have page 1 gives you numbers to write down. I tell you the exact numbers. Page 2, I give you the exact equations to put those numbers. Page 3, I tell you what you're doing with those results. This is good. This is not good. This is what you should be working on. So you can kind of see where you are. So you can go wherever you're watching, or you can go to my website at enhancingyourfinances.com. All right. See you next week. Thank you for tuning in.